Good day. Welcome back to the Soulful Podcast. I'm Evan Gage, your host. I'm so excited to be back in the saddle. It's been a few weeks, maybe even longer, since I've sat down and recorded a podcast and caught up with this platform. And it's always exciting to step up to the plate, especially after a little bit. Of course, there's always, some procrastination and coming back from a big trip, all sorts of things to get done and to catch up on. So excited to be relaxed and in a very good energy and a very good space to bring this transmission through. And I've been jotting down quite a bit of things to talk about. So this is in no particular order by any means. I'm just going to sort of jot through some of the topics and points of conversation and things on my mind, and that I feel also have a lot to do with the collective mind, just consciousness in general. So, the first point, we're just going to jump right into this, just in case it's long winded. I'm always prepared to just let it out and, go for as long as needed. So, first point, making meditation, mastering your mind, activating your spirit, your top priority and mission. And this one actually just came up recently, maybe even just a few days ago. But I've been realizing everybody that I work with from a coaching, teaching perspective, healing guidance, most of what I'm seeing right now in the world, even in myself, in my friends, in my immediate circle, and what I'm feeling in the collective is that we need meditation more than ever. Meditation is one of the most important practices that we can do. It's something that called me for years, that I knew was going to be such a transformational tool and key, practice in my journey, in my evolution. And ultimately, it's about mastering the mind. We connect with the breath and we connect with our body, and we really get to know what's going on in our head by meditating, by surrendering to stillness and to our inner being, and drowning out the outside noise and the conditioning and all the perspectives and opinions that are thrown at us from every single angle in the world around us and the people in our lives. When we meditate, we can access ourself, what really is truly ourself, not what we've heard or learned from the outside world and external perspectives and people we look up to or people that we shouldn't be listening to, most likely. Everything that we have is within us. Meditation is the way to go within. It's how we drown out the noise, connect with who we truly are, what we're truly here to do, our purpose, our gifts, and the parts of us, the deepest, most truest parts of us, like peace, joy, and happiness, without the need for anything. Like, meditation really allows us to find these things within our heart, within our being. It allows us to also activate our spirit and activate our soul. We can create a safe place for our heart to open so big that our soul steps into our beingness, and we get these things like peace, true love, wisdom that guides our life, our specific journey and path that we're here to take. We're a unique expression of a soul and person and human, and we're here to be authentic, and we're here to be who we want to be, who we're destined to be ultimately. So the top priority and mission right now should be, and what I'm working with people mostly more than anything is meditation, and really just mastering the mind. And that's from stillness, that's from quieting the mind and allowing the heart and the whispers of the spirit and the whispers of the soul that come from the hearts and other parts of us, the third eye, the intuition, all of those things, activating the spirit, mastering the mind through meditation, top priority and mission right now. I'm actually going to do a webinar very soon, probably like the first week of April, where we will be diving into meditation, making it practical, making it so we can understand it on a very deep level and make it applicable to our lives and what we have going on. So everybody has a different journey and a different lifestyle, and it's one of those things that we have to incorporate into our life in a unique way that works best for us. So practical ways to apply meditation into our lives, and tools and tricks and methods to become an expert and a master sooner than later, because it can take years. But I've found practical ways to shortcut and to deepen our states and to connect very deeply. And I like to make it practical and understandable. And it's one of my favorite things to share, and has been one of the most impactful things in my own journey, meditation, over most things, if not all things. Um, Sort of leads to my next point, which is heart-based intelligence. And this is sort of a broad topic, but a very, very important one. Right now, what's happening, which I've spoken quite a bit about, and a lot of people are talking about now, it's becoming quite apparent, but there's an evolution of our species and our planet that is taking place right now on our planet. Our entire universe is evolving. Evolution is always happening, changes and transformation is always taking place, but the speed of the ascension and the evolution is quite rapid right now, and which is something we're not used to, something that humanity has never seen the likes of. And it's all what these ancient prophecies and cycles of time point to, is very specific point in time. So it's exciting because this is essentially humanity's pilgrimage back to the heart. For so long we've been living from the head, and logic and rules and law and organization and control, and you see where the world is now because of the state. And it's not to say those things are bad and we've gone the wrong way. It was all part of the process, and so many people have awakened as part of this journey as the true colors of reality, and the powers that be, or the powers that have been controlling us for so long, as their true colors are being shown and being brought to light. So this is the pilgrimage back to the heart, where humanity gets out of the brain and thinking and the logic and organization and law and control and all these things that come from, this different era, and we're moving into this age of Aquarius, this age of individual self-realization and recognizing not only our true nature as divinity. Every human being is a divine, spark of consciousness miraculously existing in this human body, but returning back to the heart, where everyone is one, where everything is unified. When we realize and we develop the understanding that all truly is one and part of this great creation that is part of Source, and that we are, not external, not detached from this, but completely embedded within this beautiful existence, which is the universe. And this return back to the heart is going to change everything. We're no longer thinking from logic and reason, but we will be feeling our way through life. It will be a lot more focus on energy and frequency and inner knowing and inner guidance. This is really, really important. Daily intentions to connect deeper with the heart. The meditation, like I was just talking about, is one of the best ways. Just getting still and just feeling the heart. Put your hands on your chest, feel your heartbeat, allow it to reverberate through your body, and just connect with the heart. This is the way we figure out what's going on, if there's blockages, if there's emotions that need to be released. If we're having a tough time connecting with our heart and our inner being, or we're afraid to approach our psyche in any sorts of ways, this is really just pointing to where we need healing and where the work needs to be done. And meditation and allowing our emotions and traumas that have been pushed down for so long to rise and to be seen and to be felt, because we can process these emotions. And my men and of course my women as well, we need to cry. We need to really allow these emotions to move through us, because they just get stuck in our body, in our physical and energetic body. And by processing these emotions and consciously opening up our heart, beginning to see ourselves in a more compassionate lens, through the lens of love and grace and forgiveness, which will then spread into our lives, and we begin to see people with this compassion and with this grace. And we see the divinity in every single human, every single soul, every single sentient being, every animal, every tree. And this is where this fourth density, heart-based consciousness, you hear about Christ consciousness, where this divine, creator consciousness can begin to flow through us and transform our lives. And this is the future. This is heart-based intelligence. This is where humanity is moving. We're moving out of the head and we're moving back into the heart. And this is where the magic starts happening. This is where we begin to connect on such a deeper level, not only with the earth and all of our, friends and family and other beautiful souls, with ourselves, but also with, higher dimensional parts of ourselves. We're talking about maybe our star families, our spirit guides, the guidance that has been guiding us for so long, every single moment and second in this existence that we've been just unaware of. The veil blocking and blinding us to the greater reality is being removed as we move back into the heart space. And this is where you're going to see so much transformation and change, not with everything and not with everybody, but people following their heart will be experiencing some very significant changes in their reality, in them, in their beingness, different abilities and heightened awareness and senses. And it's really exciting. And so, daily intentions to connect deeper with the heart, open it to the infinite expanse of the universe and all of creation. Do this in meditation, the things that make you happy. When we're following joy, when joy is our guide, we're always going in the right direction. We're operating from the heart when we're following our joy and the things that make us the most happy. And obviously gratitude is a huge, huge frequency to develop and stay within as much as we can on a daily basis. Wake up in the morning, focus on gratitude. Before you go to bed at night, focus on gratitude. You need a midday gratitude break, take a midday gratitude break. But it seems even so simple, it seems almost cliche, but it's so important. Everything is energy and frequency, and we're becoming, this is science now. This is becoming reality. This is reality for most people in my life. For a lot of people in the scientific worlds now, metaphysics is becoming a thing that is sort of converging with regular science and physics and biology. And the woo-woo, the mystical is becoming demystified on a rapid pace every single day. So it's not about, it's no longer a time to overlook these things, like connecting with our heart and just being more compassionate and being a nicer person. This is about human evolution and the soul's evolution, and why we're essentially all here on this planet at a very deep level is we all share that same purpose. We're all here to essentially evolve in our own timing, our soul's evolution. And let's say, the name of the game is Enlightenment or Ascension, and I think all these things, are evolution. They're interchangeable from a word perspective. Ascension, Enlightenment, evolution, it's this path back to that from which we came. We've think about the prodigal son and the hero's journey. Essentially we have fallen from source. We have forgotten our divine nature, and it's just a process of remembering and ascending back to creation, to God, to source. And we are, that piece of God, that prodigal son that has fallen, just like Christ, just like Yeshua, just like all the masters that, realized their own divine nature and found this enlightenment. And we continue to ascend and evolve after this human experience. It never stops. Ascension, evolution, transcendence, enlightenment is a continual journey. It's not something it's not a destination. It's not something we reach and we're good to go. It's a continual becoming and remembering. And how we get there, when that sort of becomes more apparent in our life, it is about just getting to know who we are. It's healing, it's deconditioning, it's reprogramming. We've been conditioned and reprogrammed for so long by society and people that don't really know our purpose and path, or think they know better than us, or we follow family origins, and we just do what we think needs to be done, what we're told. But we really need to get in touch with who we are, what we want in life, and realize we can get into this frequency of co-creation where we truly become the God of our own reality. We are a God, a goddess. We are not the God. We anybody who speaks from this co-creator consciousness or creator consciousness perspective, we realize there is source, there is God above us all, there is the one creation and creator, and the one source of all. We're all just fractals of that. We are a piece of that. We are directly connected to that. We are that. That is us. We are everything. We are all one. So healing, getting to know ourselves on a deeper level, becoming aware and balancing of the masculine and the feminine principles, not only in the universe, in the greater reality, but in ourselves and our psyches, and balancing, creating coherence between these parts of ourselves. The part where we need to rest and absorb and be creative and flow. And then, of course, the more masculine, that would be the feminine. And then we have the more masculine, the action taking, the manifestation, the, putting a little bit of juice into things. Of course, there's both sides of this in our own realities and lives, and in our emotional bodies and energetic bodies within the universe as well. The creation and the creating principles. Coherence is one of the most important things on the healing, enlightenment, transcendental path. Healing, becoming aware of the masculine and feminine, becoming aware of obviously the divinity in all things, in all people, in ourselves especially, in others especially, and obviously the right and left brain coherence. So if you want to talk about a few things, coherence is a big word. It's balance. This transformation and evolution comes from a coherence and a balancing or a harmonization of the energy centers in the body, the chakras. We balance them, and we begin to experience this balance of masculine and feminine. And of course, the right and left brain as well, the coherence between the right and left brain, the creative and the actionable, logical sides of the brain, the masculine and the feminine within the psyche. And then, of course, one of the most important coherences or harmonizations we can work towards with the inner work and meditation is the brain and the heart. And this is where the healing has to happen. We have to truly open up our heart and heal it to the infinite expanse of the universe, all of creation, and allow higher dimensional frequencies to heal us. Surrender to just the love and peace that resides within every single human heart and being. It's all in here. And when we go in here, we heal this, it begins to spread, magnify, transform our life on the outside. So, coherence between the heart and the mind starts in the heart, takes control back over the mind. Let the heart lead the way over the mind, but they will work together in due time. The masculine and the feminine parts of our psyches understand how these parts play out in the universe as well. The law of gender, law of polarity, hermetic principles. And then, of course, also between the right and left brain, which is your creative, spiritual, the right brain, even more feminine side, and then, of course, your logic, your reasoning, and your more practical and actionable side of the brain. This sort of leads to another path here, being a god, being the goddess, being, we are truly creators of our own reality, just as the creator creates all reality. We're not the God, we are a God, we are of God, not under God, we are of God, we are gods. And this is something that's called creator consciousness. And creator consciousness is deep. It's the oneness. It's seeing that we are all a part of the creation, but we are also, as souls, co-creators in this reality, and truly divine, and way more capable and way more powerful than we have any idea, which we're just starting to tap into. And I truly believe this is a necessary realization at some point in the journey, that we truly have to accept that we are divine, eternal souls, more than we are actually humans. This human incarnation is a temporary experience that happens over and over until we just either don't have to come back or choose to come back to help, like many have right now in this lifetime. But we're essentially energy and eternal more than anything. And we truly have to grasp this, because this is the realization that not only allows us to transcend fear and doubt and, being thought that we are sinful by nature, or that we are unrighteous, or that the love of God has to be earned, or that we have to, if we don't follow certain rules or believe certain things that we've been told by certain people, that this has any sort of, control over our lives or our destiny, or like some sort of eternal place that we go to after this life. None of this is real. Ultimately, this whole grand illusion of physical reality is just a place for us to learn our divine nature, to remember our divinity, and then bring it here, bring it to earth, ascend this entire planet. And not only is that a huge step of us developing the understanding and the wisdom of unity, creator consciousness, the law of one, ultimate oneness and unity throughout the entire universe, and especially on this planet and humanity, all is one. But this is also the only way to true Christ consciousness. Creator consciousness is the only way to Christ consciousness, where we see God in every single human being and every single sentient thing, and it's the only way to this divine, grand truth, capital T truth. We have to realize that we are gods, like a divine piece of God living out this completely miraculous experience, and we're not human. We are eternal. We are of God. We are God putting on a mask for a bit within our each individual perspective for the sake of learning through our individual, authentic perspective. And the only way that we can begin to see this in every other human being, seeing the God in everyone, seeing divinity in every single soul, the only way we can truly see this in every single thing, in every plant, animal, being, in the fish, the snails, the bugs, anything, is through creator consciousness. We're realizing that we all are part of this beautiful one, this great infinite source that everything, comes from. Consciousness pervades everything. Consciousness precedes everything. Everything comes from consciousness, and consciousness creates, and this is what we are. So the only way to Christ consciousness is through creator consciousness. The only way to see God in everyone and everything is by seeing it first in yourself. And it's a very important topic. So yeah, this is the time of individualization and self-realization. And of course, self-realization means recognizing our divinity, who we truly are, our true essence, our true nature. And until we do that, we don't know the parts of us that aren't a part of that, like the conditioning and the programming and the negative self-belief and the judgment that is on top of all that. All that has to be removed. That's all just baggage from being a human. And underneath all that baggage is this pure essence, this infinite loving awareness, pure consciousness, source love, unconditional love and peace and power and compassion and empathy. And this is the frequency we begin tapping into when we remove the layers of baggage we've, been accumulating for our entire lifetimes. And, this is trauma, and this is, maybe it's physical things as well, and people in our lives, but creating space for what's truly beautiful and true to come through, which is our divine nature. And this is what's happening right now. It's a time of spiritual awakening and consciousness expanding to the point where it is not only, realizing itself, remembering the soul in human form, but is actualizing this, the time of self-realization, but also self-actualization, where we're beginning to embody these truths and not only becoming divine, our soul, co-creator beings, but our entire realities are changing. We're beginning to experience fifth dimensional realities, even, pieces of sixth dimensional reality. This is going to be something very apparent over the next 1, 2, 4, 10 years as consciousness continues to expand, as the higher dimensional frequencies continue to be embodied into our lives, onto this earth. Things will change, and in different ways for different people. It's all based on frequency. So the higher our frequency is, the highest our timeline of reality we will be experiencing. See, the future exists as possibilities. Everything is cyclical, and the reality we experience is directly based on the frequency we're embodying. This is, internal. Our external world is a direct reflection of our perception of our internal world. So realize your divine nature, step into your power, and take life and your reality into your own hands, and begin co-creating with the creator, with the power of the universe and source that comes through us, that we can tap into, that we truly have within us, which is the power to create universes. This is the power we have within our heart and within our pineal gland and our energy system and our entire beingness. Every Greg Braden talks about the power that we have just electrically, something we can measure. I believe there's something of words like of a seventh of a tenth of a volt in every single human cell, and there's trillions of human cells, so we have trillions of volts of electricity in the human body. We are more powerful electrically speaking than, or even metaphysically speaking, than a lightning bolt. We truly have power that we have no idea exists and is there for us to tap into, but we're learning now, and these powers and abilities and certain different things will be coming online for different people at different times, but it's happening. And I know I'm experiencing these types of things in my life firsthand from a direct experience. I know people experiencing things like this in their life, direct experience, and it's going to become more apparent. So hold on tight, everybody. So, discovering everything that's needed within as your wholeness, not needing anything external, but identifying key gifts and strategies within. And this is a great little topic here also, getting to know who we are, our authenticity, or even what our soul has chosen for us in this lifetime we can tap into, and, different strategies, our gifts. This has a lot to do with astrology, gene keys, human design. There's a lot of amazing spiritual science out there, including astrology and the I Ching and human design and gene keys. These things point to different frequencies we've embodied as a soul coming into human form based on the place we were born, the time we were born, the position on the planet, the position of the planets in the cosmos, that imprinted a certain frequency or light code that we chose to embody in this human form. And of course, we've done this in many different points in time and different aspects. But this is a really beautiful way to get to know ourselves on a deeper level, a more true level. And maybe not everything resonates from an astrology perspective, and these things should be revisited over time as our consciousness and awareness expands. Our ability to understand these sorts of things can expand as well. And they point to ways we can take advantage of the game of this illusion physical reality. The human experience, is essentially this big game that there's certain rules and laws of nature in the universe that are at play, and ways we can get to know ourselves truly in the easiest ways we can maneuver in the world, or manifest, or make use of our energy, or help others. We have these certain aspects of our psyches, of our different abilities that are basically written from the time we were born in our natal chart. And obviously you have tropical astrology, which is just based on when you were born. You have sidereal, or even like cosmic astrology, which is more based on the precession of the equinoxes and the current position of the stars and of the planets. And using all these different tools, we can get to know our soul, and we can get to know our path, and why our soul chose to come here, and the specific reasons and things it's trying to learn here on this earth plane. And just so many amazing aspects of our life and reality can be seen and understood through these spiritual scientific tools like astrology and gene keys and human design, and looking at them from all the different angles, really going deep from the tropical and also from the true sidereal. And it's truly amazing what we can learn about ourselves and why we are here. And I encourage everybody, especially moving forward in these next few years, as things start to get a little more interesting and metaphysical and energetic, as we get to know ourselves on these levels. And we have all this information, with our birth charts and this specific frequencies and codes that we've chose to come here and develop in this lifetime and other lifetimes. This also has a lot to do with our karma and past lives. So look into your know thyself, because if you understand who you are, if you understand yourself on these deep levels, you begin to understand the universe and you begin to understand the mind of God, because it's all connected and direct reflections and fractals of each other. We're all of this divine nature, and it's all the same. Essentially, it's all one in the grand scheme, in the greater reality. Everything is of the one and is one. Let's jump into another topic here. It says anything we focus on, we create. We are co-creators, and we should know by now how powerful thoughts and intention is, and where we put our attention. Where our attention goes, energy flows, and it's so true. Quantum physics proves this, but wherever we have our attention is where our energy is going. And this has a lot to do with how crazy the world's getting, and where we choose to focus on, and how that's going to affect our realities and our evolution, and potentially moving into this new world, this new earth, where none of these, bad things and negative frequencies can exist or even coexist in such a place. Um, so we need to be hyper conscious of what we focus on. It's not about ignoring bad things in our life and in the world, but knowing they're there serving a higher purpose. Everything happens for the greater good, and just really having compassion, staying in our highest frequency, so we can truly send love and send high vibrational frequency to these people who are suffering on the planet, and truly serve the world in an energetic way. It's been proven that, over even just a few months, but a couple years, they've measured these meditators, sometimes a few hundred, sometimes a few thousand meditators that will, at the same time, every single day, meditate on world peace and on love and the goodwill of all hearts, and have an actual measurable effect on the planet, on natural disasters, on crime, all these things being lowered and measured. And, this is real hard research now. We know what we focus on is going to play out in the world, in the reality. The collective intention and attention of energy is what's going to create our reality. So the more of us that can step into these new earth frequencies, these higher dimensional frequencies, be able to perceive and feel and start to attract this new reality, which we are all beginning to feel in some sort of way, some more aware or conscious than others. But if we focus on a new earth and a peaceful, loving, reality where everything is coexisting and everybody has everything they need, and where sovereignty and freedom and peace and love are outpouring from every single corner of the world, we have to begin embodying these frequencies now, and seeing this and stepping into these frequencies, and start living like this and treating ourselves and everybody else like this, because it's already here. We can tap into these frequencies. And when we do this, we will manifest that reality. It's just how the laws and how everything works. We are co-creators. And when we recognize and understand and step into the wisdom of our divinity, we can begin co-creating in this way. And it's the most powerful thing we can do, and it's the best way we can serve and change the planet and transform, this entire reality. So we're super powerful as humans, and this is not something that's new. This is something that mystery schools and esoteric schools of thought have taught since the beginning of time. This is what people were burned at the stake for. This is what people have been persecuted for millennia. This type of knowledge, back to our self, the capital S self, back to our divine self, the fractal of divine creation, our direct connection to the universe and the source of all. We've been just led to believe that we're humans, that we came from apes, that we are just going back, came from the dirt and going back to the dirt, and that's all it is. But there's so much more, that and most of reality exists in the unknown, and it's a shame that so many people have yet to wake up to their divinity, and I pray that every soul becomes sovereign and liberated from the conditioning of the world, and can step into their divine nature. And there's the powers that be, or the powers that have been, is what we'll call it now. The ones that are being exposed, the ones that have controlled our world for so long, they know this, and that's why they've kept us asleep for so long, because it's much easier to control people that don't know their real power, to keep people asleep and intoxicated and just completely sick and ill and depressed and lethargic and in disbelief of their divine nature. the true human is beginning to emerge, the divine human, at the same time as transhumanism, merging with technology and implanting chips and bionic body parts and all these sorts of things, which will serve their place, of course, in healthcare and people who have disabilities. But ultimately, what we're going to see in this next few decades is this switch from people stepping into the divine human, like pure humanism, what the human truly is and can be, and its divine capabilities and abilities. And then, of course, transhumanism, those that will evolve with technology. It's always evolution. Those of us who learn that this all comes from within and it's all connected energetically, we're all part of the one, will evolve spiritually. And then, of course, some will evolve technologically and realize, hopefully before it's too late, that wasn't the way to go. Ultimately, they will become stuck as they merge with technology, and hopefully, consciousness and the soul exists outside of all this stuff anyway. So I think there's always room for redemption, of course, but um, it'll be a longer road for those who choose to merge with technology and choose transhumanism as life instead of just humanism, pure humanism, the divine human that is emerging currently on our planet. Um, so obviously a really big point there, and this all ties together really beautifully. So I hope it has weaved together like I have intended it. But all this stuff is very connected. Um, a really beautiful way and a powerful way to take advantage of meditation or embodying these new earth higher dimensional frequencies is, obviously through meditation, but visualization as well. So when you're meditating and your eyes are closed, you'll begin to experience that you have this mind's eye, your third eye, where you can envision and imagine and visualize from this space of stillness, of eyes closed, from this inner center of our being. We can observe and visualize from this place, this connection of the third eye and the heart. And when we do that, we can begin to use our energy. We can move it within our bodies, within our hearts, to our different energy centers. We can balance our energy. We can use it to heal. We can use it to manifest. We can use it to send love and healing frequencies across the planet. We're talking quantum metaphysical space when you're within this etheric realm or the more astral realms. Time and space is not a thing. Everything is connected and instantaneous on this field. And these are the types of powers and abilities that we're getting back. And many of us on a spiritual path and our experienced meditators have been doing for years, and has been a big part of our journey of healing and ascension. So finding them on YouTube, I love working with people in this way, teaching visualization and teaching guided meditation, and showing other people how to walk through their psyches and calm their minds and connect with their heart through meditation and visualization. But there's amazing resources and books and things on YouTube that you can find from a guided meditation standpoint, and just learn to walk through these visualization practices in your own mind. Have it either written down, record it, write it down, record yourself, listen to yourself in a guided meditation setting, or you can just walk your mind through it, just in stillness or with just some meditation music with no words, some frequencies. Just begin to walk yourself through these different processes, with your eyes closed, spending time with your energy centers and just sending them love. Where our attention goes, energy flows, allowing energy to flow and build in our energy centers within our heart, using our visualization to just connect our mind and our heart. And through the visualization and the meditation, physiological sensations will begin to happen. The body, mind, spirit are all connected. So as we're using our mind and our spirit in this meditative setting and these different practices, the physical body begins to change and also have effects. And we'll feel this, that as we focus our energy on our heart, we feel the energy building there, and we can spend more time there and let the energy build to points where we can have mystical experiences, where we can have miracles like healings in our lives, on ourselves, on other people. And this is where we're going. This is the future human. This is heart-based intelligence. Miracles become real, become life, become reality. The heart-based reality is one of miracles, is miraculous in nature, is more divine than anything we have ever experienced, and is part of our human evolution, and it only gets better from there. This is just the fourth density of unity, of oneness, of heart-based intelligence. And of course you have the fifth density, the throat chakra, and then of course you have the third eye, the sixth chakra, and these are different levels of frequency of reality that we experience. And as we ascend our frequencies, we ascend our realities, and we experience more, and we expand from all angles, and we feel and experience more from all angles. So this is sort of like a broad overview of just some beautiful things that I could probably dive in super deep on and do a full podcast on any one of these points. But these are really just things and points to allow people to research on their own. I always urge people, the best way to learn and acquire knowledge is by yourself. Read books, not only reading things with an open mind and open heart, but with discernment as well, having that balance where we realizing, not everything is for us. We have our unique path, but there's things we're going to find along the path that we can use uniquely to our own journey. And these are in different books and podcasts, have all sorts of ways that you learn and acquire knowledge, but be discerning with what you apply as wisdom as on your personal journey, as a part of your own personal reality. And these things will find you, and that's why it's important to read and acquire knowledge, but also meditate, which is like the time to sift through the knowledge, find what really needs to stick, and what we can really use on our own journey. And that was, I have a direct experience as a big part of my own journey, is just reading books and from all different places, and finding the gems that have been, beautiful parts of my own, evolution. But there's a lot of things to read out there, and there's a lot of perspectives and opinions, and we need to realize that the most important information and wisdom and knowledge is going to come from within us, connecting to our higher self, to connecting to source. Our connection to source is going to give us everything that we need in life for our path. It's different for everybody, and it's so important to have that connection, to build that connection. And we will have everything we need. We will have every answer, every single path or relationship or opportunity that we need in life, that we look to attract abundance, financial abundance, emotional abundance, is all going to come from within us by changing our internal frequency to match that which we wish to experience in our outer reality. So work on coherence, between coherence, balance, which all comes from healing and growing, the self-growth path, the path of transformation and evolution. Work on the connection to your heart. Work on the connection to the heart and mind. Allow the right and left brain, the masculine and feminine principles of our psyche and existence to balance. Create coherence in your life. The coherence between taking action and doing things, and the coherence between resting and recuperating. Everything is balance and harmony in this life, and the more we can operate from a place of harmony and balance, the more our reality is balanced and in harmony. It's really that simple. Our internal world is the only thing we have control of, and it is the thing that directly controls our outer reality. They are direct reflections of our perception. So begin to perceive things differently, begin to understand things differently, see things differently, and your reality will begin to change for the better or worse. So be conscious, put your energy what matters the most. Be love, be kind, be compassionate. This is who we truly are. This is what every single human is. We need to leave judgment behind. Judgment is what we're truly here to transcend, to overcome. It's not fear and hatred. These are things that are pure products of the mind, but it's truly judgment of ourselves. And everything we judge in others is what we unconsciously are judging within ourselves. It's pointing to where we need to do the work within our own psyche and within our own being, the things that are bothering us in the world and that we're seeing in others. The more we try to fight evil in the world, the more we try to fight the powers that be, is the more that we will experience that in our life. Where we put our attention is what we're going to experience more of. So if we're fighting the powers that be, if we're focusing on corruption, if we're focusing on the darkness in the world, we will continue to experience darkness. But if we can focus on light, if we can focus on a new reality, if we can focus on a new world, on peace and love and goodwill to every single human being and the liberation of all sentient beings in the entire universe, if we can focus on this, if we can focus on a new earth where everything is given, there's complete abundance, there's no lack, there's no stress, there's no fear, there's only peace, love, and community. If we can focus on this, this will be the life we experience. So it's probably a good spot to end. I'm not sure how long I've been going. So we'll cut it off there and I'll get into some announcements. I'm probably going to be doing an event in maybe like August or September in Florida. And I haven't picked the location yet, but it'll be like a retreat destination, an outdoor nature vibey location to bring a community together, where we will be doing either like a weekend retreat or a day retreat. And it may or may not involve some sort of plant medicines as well, doing a ceremony with a group. It'll either be a smaller group with psilocybin mushrooms and cacao and some other plant medicines and hape, or it will be a wachuma ceremony, San Pedro, with these other sort of things, like cacao and hape available, and probably a larger group if we do the San Pedro Wachuma route. So we'll see how that plays out. Mount Shasta Ascension Adventure Activation in October. Mari, who I'm hosting the day retreat with on the 16th of March, we will be hosting a retreat the 15th through the 20th or 21st of October this year, this fall. So October, Ascension Adventure, Mount Shasta, California, the most sacred site in the United States, sacred mountain, just a really truly powerful vortex of transformation and evolution and spiritual energy that exists in that part of the country. So I haven't been. I'll be going before we go to set some things up, but excited to bring a group there with Mari and just have an incredible ascension adventure in Mount Shasta in October, the 15th through the 21st. And then I will also be taking a group to the Sacred Valley of Peru and just, in Cusco through the Sacred Valley in probably November, December. Right now, definitely taking one group, maybe two groups, depending on how things play out by that point in time. But there may be an opportunity to go sit with some plant medicines with the Shipibo tribe in the Amazon before heading to the Sacred Valley with Arcana Spiritual Healing Center. They have you fly into Iquitos, you take a boat into the Amazon jungle for a few hours into the middle of nowhere where they have a beautiful retreat healing center. And you work with the Shipibo shamans doing ayahuasca and just a really, the traditional method in medicine. And they've been, the shamans there have been working it their entire lives. They're some of the best in the world. So to go sit with ayahuasca, with Arcana in the jungle in November. And then so that will be 1 week. So I'll be bringing a group there to go sit with the medicines, with the Shipibo maestros and shamans in the traditional setting in the jungle, Amazon, and then heading to Sacred Valley for either a week, potentially 10 days for a retreat and adventure through the Sacred Valley, doing all the beautiful things and seeing all the amazing sites and ancient sacred sites that are there and all the activations that come from those, portals and vortexes of just sacred, powerful energy. So lots of exciting things coming up. Stay tuned. I will be having an email list coming out soon as things develop to keep everybody in the loop with any one of these things. And it's going to be exciting. It's a beautiful year. I am just stepping into service and trying to bring people along these amazing journeys that I've been on, over the last few weeks and months, Peru and Egypt. I'm heading to Nepal in about a month, and then Tibet after that, followed by Bali, later in the year. And just being really guided and feeling so supported on this journey as I continue to work and try to make it happen financially, and I'm presented with opportunities and abundance is flowing into my life. And because I'm following my heart's calling and soul purpose and beginning to serve others, and ultimately everything I'm doing in my life now is to serve the planet and humanity, with the best I can in now and in the future and forevermore. So I guess I'll do another podcast on Egypt. I'm not sure where I'm at on time right now. Maybe I'll just do a quick overview just to catch some people up that might be interested. But Egypt was absolutely incredible. Whatever happened to me, a pure like cellular biological energetic upgrade activation in Peru from not only the land there but working with the medicines and connecting so deeply with the land and great spirits in those lands, but also taking that activation to Egypt and the energy that was flowing through me there and the energy I was feeling in those sacred sites was just it's impossible to put words to. We had an amazing group, including our guide. We were 4 men, 4 women, all on the same frequency there with beautiful intentions to connect with ourself and to activate things within us and also within the sites, to bring a beautiful positive energy and to do some grid work, to really bring some love and light into these places, bring some high dimensional frequency to not only the land but the earth through these vortexes that connect to the entire planet, the Great Pyramid being on the meridian, and these energetic meridian points, connect the entire earth. And we can really do some amazing things when a collective group comes together with the loving intention to raise the ascensions or raise the frequency of the planet and the collective consciousness of humanity. And when we're doing ceremony and we're chanting and we're connecting with the energy of these places and using it to amplify our own energy, it's just magic happens. And it's so powerful, the experiences. Like we did a private ceremony in the Great Pyramid in the King's Chamber. And for about 2 hours in the middle of the night from like 1 a.m. to 3 a.m., we just chanted and like completely activated this chamber through our chanting and our intention. And it felt like 15 minutes, but just this truly powerful, incredible experience and vibrations and sensations that I'll probably never feel anywhere else besides that specific point, in the pyramid and on the planet. But just an amazing, amazing place. I think also maybe sometime next year it'd be good to, maybe early next year in the springtime or the late winter to bring a group to Egypt as well. So that's something that will, continue to be talked about and, part of the email list and all these different offerings that I will be, coming out with over the next year or two. So something else to stay tuned, Egypt Ascension Adventure, I think down the line as well. But yeah, we had an amazing group, just went to all these incredible sites, really felt like we did a good job, and we did what we were there to do, which is, connect and activate, things within ourselves and things within those spaces and bring just a beautiful energy. And it was quite an honor to be there and to do that work with that group and those beautiful souls. So that's about it for this episode, unless something else comes through in the next few seconds. But I felt like I've done some good rambling, and this was sort of like an energy update, what's going on in the world, a couple other beautiful topics and points of interest that we should all be focusing on, like more meditation, more mastering our minds, more connecting with our hearts, more activating our souls and activating our spirit, getting in touch with our soul purpose and our soul's evolution, healing, becoming more compassionate, becoming more kind, becoming more knowledgeable of the self, of who you are, of what you're here to do. And this is the time, like I'll say it again, of individualization, of self-realization and self-actualization. And what is the self? It is the divine human, the pure human, that which we are destined to become, which is emerging on our planet right now. So do the right things, follow the path, follow your heart. You will always go in the right direction and where you need to be. And never worry, never stress, never be fearful. Just continue letting joy be your guide, continue letting the light be your guide. And we are love, and the more we can settle into that realization and understanding that we are just truly infinite, loving awareness, that is our pure being, the more we can settle into those frequencies, into those realities, and into that knowing and understanding, the better things will be. So I love you. Thank you for tuning in. If you're still listening, especially thank you. I love you so much. I'm sending you just so much blessing right now. And from the bottom of my heart and soul, I appreciate you. And I'm so grateful for your time and your attention. And go, take this energy that hopefully has touched you in some sort of way, in a beautiful way, and go share it with the world. And you have all that which you seek within you. Find it, go share it with the world. You are light, you are love. Peace. Peace. I will see you next time.